Hello and welcome back to your favorite podcast, The Lack of Interesting Conversation with me, your host, Trey Mendenhall. Thank you once again for joining me. If you missed the last podcast, um, I encourage you to go listen to it as we went back to the movies for a second week in a row. There, review Spider Man Brand New Day, which was fantastic, lots of heartbreaking moments. Also, just it's funny, everything you could want in a Spider-Man movie. But as I also said in that podcast, that we will be currently being more sporadic in terms of when we're uploading. Just got a lot going on with our children in terms of sports right now. Hopefully, I can figure out some kind of way to be a little bit consistent during this period of time. Also, just ask you to keep my family up in prayers as we lost a loved one this past weekend. So, anyway, I hope this podcast finds you doing great. I hope this podcast finds you blessed and highly favored. If not, um, this too, if for some reason you're dealing with something um, personal, something that's frustrating to uh, go through, this too shall pass. Uh, and just rely on Jesus, rely on your friends, rely on your family. Find someone you can open up to, uh, and they will help. And find someone that will pray with you, and they will help you through it. So anyway, uh, as you know, we're crazy sports, and as you know, we are in the month of August now. So football season is getting ready to come up, and we will be doing a preview slash prediction episode for the NFL, this upcoming NFL season. Also, we will be doing one for maybe. I think I might do one for the college football playoff and the conferences. Uh, well, but I'll figure that out when I get there. Anyway, but um, this be on the lookout for that as we're coming into the football season, and football is my favorite sport. I don't know if it's your favorite sport. I don't even know if you even like sports. If you're listening to it, if you do, just shout out in the comments your favorite sport is. I'd love to hear it. Love for that discussion to happen, take place in the comments. As we just remember, the only way you can actually see me live, full in color on the video is YouTube. Hopefully, we can somehow, some way eventually get this video version of the Lack of Interesting Conversation on YouTube, on Spotify, and um, Apple Podcasts, and wherever video podcasts are supported. But YouTube's still our exclusive home. But to, I guess, roll off what we talked about last week with Spider-Man Brand New Day, uh, it had it was a ton of predictions. As I know, I talked about, it had the largest opening day in history in the history of cinema. $169 million opening day last Friday, which was the most, which beat in games 157, I believe. Also beat in games preview the Wednesday Thursday previews it had totaled to a $72 million. Then it also um, which also beat Endgame's record of let's see, of 57 million, I believe. And if you were uh, into movies and into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at that time, you would realize how big Endgame was to build the hype for that movie. Arguably the most hype movie in the history of movies. But Spider-Man ended up going on to make a total of $360 million. It's an opening weekend, which ended up setting the all-time record for the highest opening weekend in the history of movies of film, beating Endgame's three record of 357 million. So an Endgame released 2019, so that was 7 years ago. So it only lasted for 7 years. To be honest, when Endgame smashed the record books, you figured that would probably stand forever. But here we are. We can now say that record has been topped. it'd be interesting to see if the movie can make $400 million on opening weekend here in the United States. Uh, with the insane hype and the hype train on Spider-Man, uh, Brand New Day, it totaled over, I think it was $1 billion by the end of its opening weekend worldwide. That is, uh, and as of today, it officially crossed the $1.7 billion worldwide mark. So it's obviously on the fast track to becoming another film in the $2 billion club. And it'll be interesting how fast it ends up stalling out once it crosses that $2 billion threshold. Uh, I mean, people love this movie. People keep going back to see it. It tells you how fun that movie is and how good of a movie it was, and you actually and the writers, the studio, the directors, the cast all accomplished their jobs. Everybody, when you make a movie or any kind of project like this podcast, whether that would be YouTube video, make doing let's plays and stuff, you set out to do the best you can to put out the best content, the best music, the best movies, the best TV shows, the best, I don't know, football. You'd be the best coach, put out the best team that you can put out on the field to help you win, whether that be in any sports, just not football. That's just what I use as a reference. But it's an but it's incredible. I'm sure it's an incredible feeling when it all comes together and works as well as it did with uh, with Spider-Man: Brand New Day, which also I bet you, Sony, the people at Sony are just thankful, thankful to the Lord above that they were able to uh, re-up that deal with Marvel Studios back in 2019 when that contract originally ran out uh, with their deal with bringing Spider-Man to the MCU. Uh, now look what there are because that deal. No Way Home made $1 billion. Now, uh, um, Brand New Days is getting ready to make um, 2 billion, which has become tells you how popular Spider-Man is, and the fact that he is will be the first lone superhero uh, to cross the $2 billion threshold for a movie. Batman hasn't done this. Superman, Iron Man, Captain America, any other characters in the MCU, none of the characters at DC have been able to accomplish this. Now, even at the heights of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, was it going to sniff the $2 billion range? Pretty incredible. Hope it continues to make as much money as possible. I know this past weekend ended up making another $145 million, which is incredible. It's the biggest second weekend this year, and also if it would be second if Spider-Man if that would have made when it opened, say it opened last week and only made $105, that would have been the second highest opening of the year, only behind Toy Story, and then obviously behind its own opening weekend with Brand New Day. Look forward to see where they go next with Tom Holland Spider-Man. I know he's been my son Joshua. He's the only Spider-Man he knows. So Tom Holland's his favorite Spider-Man. He's pretty excited. He's excited for the Spider-Verse movie getting ready to come out next year. Big fan of Miles Morales. As I am too personally. I know he's a newer character. He hasn't even been around 20 years yet, but this Insomniac games have made me just fall in love with the character. Speaking of Insomniac, I know they got a new game, the Wolverine game, ready to come out, which is pretty hype. Which the Wolverine character and the other X-Men characters do exist in the same universe as the Spider-Man, Miles, and Peter. I know there's certain Easter eggs in the trailers. They got like a Fisk building, Roxanne. Wait, no, uh, Roxanne. I can't remember the main bad guys. Uh, Roxxon. There we go. Roxxon. That's it. From Miles Morales. So it's pretty awesome to see those little Easter eggs playing in the Marvel Wolverine universe. I know that today they announced a special edition PlayStation, so it comes in two different colors: the yellow, the classic yellow Wolverine suit, also comes in silver. It's got like claw marks, Wolverine claw marks on the PlayStation on the body of the PlayStation, and the claw marks on the controllers are on the yellow controller. It's yellow and black, and the claw marks are yellow. And on a silver one, it's silver and black with silver claw marks. Which I think the silver one looks super cool. I think it looks sweet, uh, personally. But anyway, that comes out next month. Uh, I am looking forward to actually getting a hold of that game, and we'll bring a review of that game right here on this podcast once play it. And speaking of video review and video games, hopefully on the next one I can bring my thoughts on Madden 27 as yesterday was Monday. I'm recording this on Tuesday. So um, we I was able to download it with since I bought the MVP, got college football and Madden with this, and so far personally I'm loving Madden 27. This is the best Madden in years. The game looks beautiful, plays well. There's still some issues like the pocket, the way the pocket forms around the QB. The wear and tear system needs massive adjustments, but so far so good. I'm having a lot of fun with what they've done so far, and also did what I think the Cowboys are getting ready to do. Put Max Crosby on the Cowboys, so he's officially a Cowboy. Great, and I know they also just signed re-upped with Quinnen Williams uh, for a 3-year extension because I know he currently has 2 years left on his contract. I love this signing. Keeps a great player in Dallas for years to come. Great. They made his trade for him last year. I love the proactiveness of the Cowboys front office, which has been rare for the last 20, well, maybe 15 to 20 years, really, because the last big signing they went and signed in free agency before they did with Jalen Thompson, the safety formerly of the Arizona Cardinals, now the Dallas Cowboys, was Brandon Carr when they signed him from Kansas City, and he ended up being average at best. He was okay, which kind of seemingly scared the Cowboys off from spending money for years. But great to see it. I look forward to seeing what else they do, as the Cowboys have been very quiet, which has been great this offseason. Haven't had unnecessarily drama, as the Jerry Jones likes to do. But anyway, I will talk about the Cowboys more and more when I think about them and how I see this year playing out. More on the NFL preview. If you want to keep up to date on Cowboys news stuff, the best spot you can go, be honest, go ahead and follow on your social media, whether your Instagram, Facebook, or X/Twitter now. Fish Sports, Mike Fisher. You can go follow him at cowboysroundtable.com as well, and you can also find the Fish Report on YouTube at 9 a.m. EST and 7 o'clock EST. So if you're 8 Central, 6 Central, and if you live in the West Coast and other time zones, follow accordingly. But he's been with the Cowboys for over 35 years now. Was there during the 90s. That's actually when he got to Dallas. So he was seeing what that team was like when they went on that run with the triplets in the 90s, with those 3 out of 4 years when they won our Super Bowl champions on top of the world, reclaiming their rightful spot, in my opinion. America's team will always be America's team because the NFL themselves gave them that name, whether you like it or not. But anyway, let's get back to the movies. So let's discuss the Odyssey. The Odyssey has officially become Christopher Nolan's biggest movie of all time. It's no other Christopher Nolan movie. The Dark Knight is not. The Dark Knight Rises is not. Then no other movie of his movies came close to billion dollars. But the Odyssey is officially grossed 1.138 billion dollars at the box office. Clearly, people loving this movie, going to see it in IMAX, 70 millimeter if you can, all kinds of different formats. Obviously, the those type of formats, the more expensive the tickets are, but people clearly are willing to go pay it to see that movie the way Christopher Nolan would personally want them to go see it, uh, which is great. Happy for him. But it'll be interesting to see what he do next. Selfishly, I'd love to see him do a biblical epic. Be awesome. Uh, would be totally awesome. Then also last week, I know we talked about SummerSlam preview. The SummerSlam. I closed the podcast with that last week. It was last past weekend. I thought it was a good one. I think I went 6-0 on night one with my predictions. Because night one ended up kicked off with Liv versus Io for the Women's World Championship. With Liv retaining, I thought there would be some kind of shenanigans in that match to help Liv retain. None whatsoever. It'll be interesting to see where Io goes from here. Then the next match was L.A. Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys, formerly Powerhouse Hobbs in the AEW, versus the Bloodline, the Usos, and Jacob Fatu. The good guys here, Solo, during the match, he did the Jey Uso, let's run it back, which was pretty funny. You had, ultimately, I think you had LA Knight pinning Jimmy Uso for uh, the victory. So, and then kind of ends up being Solo ended up being right not to join. But if you watch Monday Night Raw last night, you know, Jey Uso beat Solo, so now Solo has to go back to the Bloodline. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Uh, then you had Gunther, Nick Aldis, which was my personal match of the week, and I was looking forward to that match. Nick Aldis is obviously his first time ever stepping inside the WWE ring, being on one of the big four pay per views or PLEs in WWE. With the big four, you got the Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Although Survivor Series is not what it used to be, it's I guess it's better than what it used had been, but it's still not as it still has not yet to see the heights that it once had. This, even though it was great to see Nick Aldis, he looked good. Chance, you still had it, you still got it with his wife Mickey James and their son in the front row to watch him. Uh, Gunther came out victorious on this, which was honestly not surprising. Didn't think Nick Aldis would uh, come out on top, but it was good to see him there. He got a little moment with his wife and their son in the ring to soak it all in, which was awesome. Then you had Fatal Influence taking on the Bella Twins and Paige. So uh, pick Fatal Influence on the come out on top on this, which they should have, as I know, like a couple weeks before SummerSlam, Fatal Influence had beat Fallon Henley and Laney Reed had beat Paige and Bella for the women's tag titles. But they ended up coming out on top. Then after the match, Nikki Bella ended up attacking Paige for quote unquote taking her spot, even though she had to give up her spot at WrestleMania where Paige returned because Nikki was hurt. Uh, it is what it is. But ironically, Brie Bella ended up getting hurt in this match, so she's out for a prolonged period of time. And I do not believe Nikki and Paige have been on TV since. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if maybe the Brie getting hurt like sideline this feud for a minute. I don't know. But then to my shock anyway, I'm kind of surprised that you had the WWE Championship match after the CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Good battle, but ultimately with the ref bump, the ref getting taken out, you had Randy Orton come through the crowd, sneak into the ring, RKO Cody. ultimately costing um, Cody the match, which CM Punk was also laid out when that happened, so it wasn't like some kind of dastardly thing where CM Punk turned on the crowd and getting booed and everything. But it would be honestly, it would be interesting to see if they did that with CM Punk because honestly, it seems like no matter what the guy does, people love him. The WWE universe loves the guy. So, but ultimately, with CM Punk ended up coming out on top here, good match. Then the main event ended up being Hell in a Cell with the Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, obviously, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is where he's from. This is where he grew up. The city. This is where he went to. He went to the University of Minnesota. Tried out for the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of ties here. End up being 11 match ended up being 11 minutes 40 seconds. Brock tore up the ring mat, tore off the canvas, then the padding, then basically had the wood, the 2x4s and stuff under the mat, exposed ultimately, and Oba ultimately coming out on top with the fall from grace. I don't know if maybe that was supposed to happen. He was supposed to power bomb Brock onto the wood or not because Brock kind of looked over, but ultimately Brock gave Oba the biggest endorsement you can give him. Not only having a trilogy of matches, ends up saying, coming in the ring saying that that Oba's the future, Brock is the past, and basically went on a couple days later, Pat McAfee's show to confirm that he was done, that he was retired. So it'll be interesting to see where if we see Brock again ever, maybe at a Hall of Fame. But if he does the Hall of Fame, that'll probably be the last you ever see of Brock on WWE television. Besides packages, then the Open Night 2. This is where my predictions went downhill fast. Uh, you kick off the night. You had Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor, which I had Finn winning this match, but then becoming the number one contender for the WWE Championship. But Nick Aldis came out after both those entrances, and basically after Triple H reinstated him as a SmackDown GM in a backstage um, vignette promo, which was posted on WWE social media. Uh, Nick Aldis handed his resignation as he felt like he didn't deserve to be SmackDown GM because him getting in the ring went back on his word. But Triple H was so impressed that he reinstated him as SmackDown GM and kind of, I guess, good graces, telling him, hey, you need to be a little bit more fair to the talent. So in order to live up to that, he added Gunther to this match to make this a triple threat. But and when he did that, Sami Zayn lost it. He was throwing a massive temper tantrum in the ring, but really couldn't you blame him? Because technically, Sami should have an automatic rematch for the WWE Championship. But uh, as Gunther got in the ring, he said, "Wait a minute, Nick Aldis did. I did not say this was the only surprise that I had." And then basically comes out Kevin Owens, which is great to see coming back after a year and a half after his neck injury scare. Didn't know if he would ever get to come back. It's great to see him. Kevin Owens obviously ended up winning, hitting stunners and stuff. You can see him holding his neck at the end of the match, but also you can see being very emotional, which makes perfect sense. He didn't know if he could come back or not. It's great to see. Very happy to see where the CM Punk Kevin Owens feud goes. Because especially off of last Friday's promo between the two, you can tell those guys do not like each other. There's real disdain. Then you had Baron Corbin and Trick Williams for the U.S. title. To my surprise, Baron Corbin won. I thought Trick was going to go over, but going to win this match. But Trick, obviously, he's going on the bigger, I would imagine, bigger and better things to do to star. I'm excited to see where he goes. I'm excited to be a world champion one day. But after listening to Busted Open, the experts on there, which also I forgot to mention that you can actually now listen because WWE Radio exists now on SiriusXM. You can actually listen to play-by-play of PLEs on the radio like you do would be able to for football games, for basketball games, for soccer. Now you can just, if you get that Sirius XM subscription, you can go ahead and listen. I think the app is $5 a month, so you don't even need to get it in your car. You can just download the app, subscribe that way, play it on your phone, uh, which is pretty cool to be honest. Uh, but you had Baron Corbin end up winning this match, which makes sense. If you're going to bring him back, you need to build him up. You don't need to just straight up bring him back and have him lose every match right away, which I feel like something Vince McMahon would do. Then you had Chelsea Green, Charlotte Flair, Jade Cargill, Flash Legend, Tiffany Stratton, all competing in the ladder match for the women's interim women's world champion WWE Championship, which will be interesting to see if they eventually drop that interim label, as Rhea literally just had surgery on her knee. So she's going to be out for a while. But all this, this was my first prediction I got right night two. Chelsea Green ends up climbing the ladder, playing possum a little bit, then sits up, climbs up to the ladder, gets it, gets the championship. But unfortunately, some bad luck has hit her, as I know this past Friday in a tag match. She ended up breaking an orbital bone, which The Undertaker did. If you're an Undertaker fan, if you've been a WWE fan for long, during the mid 90s, he fractured one of his orbital bones around the eye, so he had to wear like that Phantom of the Opera mask over his face, which was pretty cool. But he had to do that to protect the orbital bone. I would imagine Chelsea Green will probably end up doing something like that. But it'll be interesting to see to go. They made the right choice. Fans are behind her. Uh, Hopefully, she can get past this injury and take it to the do the best she can with this title reign. Then you had the worst match of the weekend by far. Horrible match. Just no, no, yes. So awkward. Danhausen, Dominic Mysterio. My goodness, how the mighty have fallen with that guy. And a human money's on a pole match. Danhausen obviously ended up coming out on top. I think Joe Henry uh, helped fight off the Judgment Day, JD McDonough, and all them. But this match was not good. The less said about it, the better. Then you had Penta and Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship. And Chad Gable was actually from Minneapolis, so he was in his hometown just like Brock was. Uh, but honestly, this is probably the second best match of the weekend. Great match in between you two. Penta, what he can do is incredible. Chad Gable, the same, kind of like Kurt Angle, reminds you of Kurt Angle quite a bit, the way he works in the ring, being a former Olympian himself. With Chad Gable officially coming out on top and becoming winning his first singles title in his entire WWE run. He didn't win a singles title in NXT. He was an NXT tag champ. Didn't I think he's been an WWE champion on the main roster with American Alpha, him and Jason Jordan, which they had a great moment backstage. But which was great. But the moment was kind of he was able to talk after the match, but then you had all of a sudden you tied mug root beer promotion into the end of the match and during this heartfelt speech at the end of his match. Uh, Ridiculous in my opinion. Then you had the main event, which was the match of the weekend: Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, the WWE for the World Championship. Great match. Some brawl and some obviously some callbacks to other previous matches, callbacks to the Shield days. I think Seth even did. Wait, no, Seth did the old John Moxley / Dean Ambrose like where he like flips his leg like halfway in the air back to the clothesline. Then you had Roman do Dirty Deeds, which is a DDT, which was what it was called in WWE, to Seth. Then I know Seth also came out with the Shield mask on, except this was a white version of the Shield mask. But ultimately, Ends up retaining, coming in on top, and I know they place the shield mask on top of of a chair, I think, which was obviously a chair that ended up being a callback to when Seth turned on Roman, and also a callback to WrestleMania 40, where Roman ended up getting his payback there on Seth, as Roman was the one Seth had originally when that night he turned on Dean his Shield Bros with the mask on top and them doing the shield pose like that. Um, it'll be interesting to see. I know Bully Ray on Busted Open said that he think it may have been uh, like a signal for John Moxley to come back home to WWE. It'll be interesting to see if that happens and when they do that, how long it takes them to put the Shield back together, because that will definitely make WWE a whole lot of money. But anyway, thank you for joining me again. I know it was little long-winded there at the end. I appreciate you so much for joining me. Uh, just remember that if that Jesus does love you. His work on the cross still means as much as it did the day it happened today as the day it happened. You can be free of your sins. You don't have to live in condemnation anymore. You can be made free, totally free, both physically, spiritually, and mentally, which is just an incredible blessing. And you also, with that comes the reward of getting to spend eternity with Jesus, is incredible. That just means that this life does not end here; it continues on, and then what can only get better on the next side. So, thank you once again. We'll see you next time on the Lack of Interesting Conversation.